And hello YouTube, this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'm today on a brand new video for Gaming with GS. And today we're here on Guild Wars 2. Lighting in the game is a bit dark, maybe because it's Halloween, maybe because it is nighttime outside. But we're here today with another easy gold trick. This is video number 22 in our 2.0 series. We're going to be going over a method that I was reluctant to go over before because I didn't fully understand it, but I have had some experience with it right now, and I want to share it with you. Several people have requested that I share this method as well because it has made them some profit, so I thought, why not? Let's help everyone out make some more gold. Before we go into the video, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers we have. We have some pretty big growth in the last week or so, and we are nearing that 5,000 subscriber mark for that giveaway. So continue rolling in those subs. Hopefully you find the content helpful and informative, and hopefully you're enjoying yourself on the channel. So the method we're going to be going over today is called the Snipe-It method. Now the Snipe-It method is here on GW2 Shinies. This is a site that we used for a lot of the earlier Guild Wars 2 gold guides. In fact, if you take a look at the number 8 video in the 2.0 series, we went over the Smart Find and the Snatch-It method, which are very good ways of making money, especially very good if you don't have a lot of money. If you don't have much, Snatch-It is really good, and if you have a decent amount, Smart Find is good. However, if you have a considerable amount, anywhere between 200, 400, 500 gold, I'd say 200 minimum, this is a really good method, Snipe-It, for you to invest that money and make some money back. Now, the way this method works is very much so like the Snatch-It method. In Snatch-It, you're basically finding an item that is relatively low in buy price and then selling it for a higher price, and you'll be the highest seller. Snipe-It has the same ideology behind it, only that you're buying in bulk and selling in bulk, which requires you to have a lot of money and will also give you a lot of money in return as well. Now, the only problem that I have with this method is that for certain items, it's kind of dangerous, and I'm going to explain to you some of the things to look out for, some of the things you don't want to invest your money in, and some of the dangers that come with this method. But if you watch out for these things, and if you pick the right items, you could make lots of profit very easily without much effort. So this is a form of flipping on the trading post, if that's what you want to call it. When you go over to Guild Wars 2 Shinies here, you go to Tools, you go to Snipe-It, you'll see this list here. The top columns you want to pay attention to is total cost, sell to, sell, quantity, and obviously profit. Now, quantity I'll go over in just a second. But sell is how much you're going to be buying for. You're going to be buying the item for this much. And you're going to be buying how many of these items? 8 items. Now you're going to sell this for $13.50. The total cost will be 76 gold, and the total profit after all 8 of these sell is 15 gold. Now, what is the technique, or what is the science behind this method? Well, to understand that, we have to take a look at the orders. So if you want to take a look at the orders, which is also important, click the item here, and we're going to take a look real quick. Now, I would say for each item you're thinking of applying this method to, always look at the graph. The first thing I would look at is there a lot of change happening in this item? I would say look for past a week. A week is a really good estimate. You could do a month as well, but I would say a week is a really good graph to look at. I would say if you're going to look at a month, it may take longer for you to sell your item. If you're making your decision based off of the monthly view, it may take longer for your item to sell. If you're making your decision based off the weekly view, it can sell fairly quickly. So here I see there's lots of change happening. We have some ups, we have some downs, we have some change happening over the course of this week. Over the course of the month, we see a lot of change happening as well. As long as you see some change happening, it's a fairly good investment. So that's the first thing that I would look at. Now, if we take a look at something like another item here which doesn't have a lot of change, this is what you should not be investing your money in. For example, this one right here, the rejuvenating focus here, rejuvenating banded focus. If we take a look at the graph here, there's not much change happening at all in the day, obviously. In the week, there's also not much change happening. In a month, there's also not much change happening. This is a very bad item to invest in because you're going to have this sitting on the trading post for a long time. If you're experienced in the game, you can pretty much know what's going to sell or not. This stat type is not very popular. It's not going to sell. A rejuvenating stat type most people don't buy this. So just by looking at the item, you can sort of see what's good to invest your money in, what's not good to invest your money in. But if you don't understand, or you're not that much into the game yet that you understand all the stat types and all the items, and you don't know, what items are used for what, then just take a look at the graph. If you see a lot of change happening in these lines, people are buying it, people are selling it, people want this item, people don't want this item. So that's the first thing I would look at. The second thing I would look at is the orders. Let's go back to our Sentinel Draconic Helm. This is obviously an item that people are buying. This is a fairly popular stat type, not the most popular, but people buy it. People buy Vitality, Toughness, and Power for their builds, for their characters, whether it be for War vs. World, for PvE. People buy this. But what you want to look at next is the orders. Now, if you see a huge difference between the buy order and the sell order, I would not invest in it. A lot of times you'll see some rare miscellaneous items that are not very useful being sold for 100 gold in the sell order here, and the buy order is really only 1 gold. No one is going to put their money in for 100 gold to buy an item that eventually they could possibly get sold to for 1 gold. So if you see huge differences between these two columns, don't invest in it either. But generally, if you see something like this, where they're relatively near, the reason why these are separated because people who have crafted this item are selling it for this much because the materials costed that much to make, and people who just want to buy it for this price here are waiting for it to be sold. However, here's where the main idea behind this method comes into play. If it's one thing that you can see right sticking out in front of your face, it's this right here, the difference in gold. There is someone selling for 13.50 and 1 copper, right? But then all of a sudden, someone decided, hey, I'm going to sell my stuff for cheaper because I want to sell it fast. Which is a good technique because, if someone sees this for very low price, they're obviously going to buy it. So this is the idea behind this. People want to sell this fast. And guess what? You're that person that's buying this who wants to sell it fast. You're the buyer. The reason why is because once you buy this for 9.50, you can then sell this for 13.50 and 0 copper. You will be the highest bidder. Now, will you make profit out of that? Very easily. You can check in your TP Calc here. Well, actually, TP Calc is down, so I will leave the link to this new calculator in the description below. But if you take a look, we're going to be buying it for how much? For 9.50, right? 9.50 0. So we're going to type 9 gold and 50 silver. Now we're going to be selling it for 13.50, just 1 copper below the highest bidder. So 13 and then 50. 50. And look at that. For only 1 of them, we are already making a profit. However, for 8 of them, we are making a 15 gold profit. And this is where the technique comes into play. You are basically buying something that's very low, very similar to Snatch-It. With Snatch-It, you're buying 1 item that's very low and selling it for a higher price. With Snipe-It, you're buying a bulk of these items for a lower price and selling it for a higher price, so you're the highest bidder. Now, like I said, you can do this with pretty much any item. Just make sure you check the graphs here. You see some change. Make sure that the columns here between the buy and the sell order, they aren't too, distant from each other. And other than that, you can pretty much invest your money in any of these. So we're going to be demonstrating this today as well in Guild Wars 2. So we're going to be investing in this Draconic Helm because these actually sell for a really good amount. So I'm going to have this open on another tab. And one thing that I also see that's also very good, and like I said, one thing also to pay attention to is the quantity. You don't want to buy so many. For example, 39 of these. Let's just say that, for example, this is a popular item that people buy a lot, right? And there's 39 selling. You don't want to buy 39 of these because what's going to happen is that eventually someone is going to undercut you. And you may be that guy who's stuck with 20 of these items on a trading post. Say you bought 40 of them and 20 of them sold, great. But then someone ends up undercutting you and you keep on getting undercut and undercut and undercut. You're stuck with those 20 on a trading post. So if you see huge amounts of quantities like this, I wouldn't invest in them either because it's going to take a long time for them to sell. The longer it takes for you to sell these items, the more likely you're going to get undercut because as time progresses, more people are going to be listing this item. So the perfect items to do this with is items like these where there's only 8 of them, or items like these where it's only 6 of them. I would say the maximum I would do is probably 10 items. A really good one that I saw earlier is this one right here. As you see, there's only 3 of them here, and we're still making a profit of 4 gold. So sometimes you don't need to use a lot of gold to make back gold. You just need to have a good amount of gold. And as you see, 8 gold total cost. We're making a profit of 4 gold. We have a 50% profit increase. So I'm going to be doing this with the Sentinel helm here. And I'm also going to be doing it with the Cavalier's Exalted Mask. And this is also another really good stat type that people like, toughness, ferocity, power. That is a good one right here as well. So you can copy the link here by clicking copy name, and we can head back, go to our trading post, and I actually have some gold to pick up, nearing 400 gold. We're going to paste our name in right from the website, and as you can see, here it is. You can see that right now this is being sold for $269. So we're going to go ahead and buy all of these. We're going to buy all 3 of these for 8 gold, and we're going to buy this instantly. Now what you'll see is that if we take a look, that low price for 3 gold is no longer there. Now you're going to be the highest bidder for 5 gold and 63 copper. And you don't have to follow the website. If you feel like, I want to put mine a little lower to secure my bid. A lot of times people can be a little bit scared. I tend to be a little bit scared as well. Early on when I was investing gold, I wanted to put it like for 4 gold and 50 silver. You can do that, but you're going to be making less profit. So you don't have to follow the site exactly. The site is telling you to sell it for 5 gold and 64 copper, right? But if you're not comfortable with that price, you can put it for 4 gold and 90 silvers. It's still going to get sold, and you're still going to make a profit. You may not get this full amount of 4 gold and 69 silver, but you will get a profit of maybe like 4 gold or 3 gold and 90 silver. The point is you'll still make profit, and you can have that comfort zone of, hey, I put it at a much lower price, maybe it will get sold a lot more. Because it is true, the more gaps you see, people tend to buy when there's a huge gap or there's a considerable amount of gap. People are like, hey, this is like 20 silver cheaper. Let me go ahead and buy it instantly. I might as well before someone buys it. That's the psychology behind it. You have to think a little bit and put yourself in a position of, if you're the buyer, would you buy something like this? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I want to have that comfort blanket. So I'm going to put it for like 4 gold and maybe 90 silver. And I won't be making the full profit here, but I will still be making a profit. So I'm going to go to my sell tab over here, and I'm going to sell all 3 of these for 4 gold and 90 silver. And as you can see, I now am the lowest bidder. And if you want to check, we can go ahead and list this already. If you want to check if you're actually still making a profit with all the fees, you can go back to your calculator here. We bought it for $269, and we sold it for, I believe it was $490. And as you can see, we are still making a profit. Obviously not the full profit like Guild Wars 2 Shinies is showing, but still making a profit. And that's kind of the key behind this method. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the helm real quick, and then if I happen to have sold the item, then I'll put a screenshot or a piece of video into the video right now. As you can see, this huge price difference here. We're going to go ahead and buy all 8 of these. Buy them instantly. Seems scary because they're wasting 76 gold, but believe me, you're going to be making that profit back. So we're going to go ahead and sell them, and we're going to sell all 8 of these again, but this time we're going to sell it for perhaps, as you can see, we're making 108 gold back, but perhaps I'm going to be selling it for maybe 13 gold flat, just to have that secure blanket of, hey, I have it really low, go ahead and buy it for me. You can have that mentality. So I'm going to be listing it for that, and we're still making 104 gold back, which is still going to give us profit. So that's kind of how the method works, and that's kind of the idea behind it. It's very similar to the Snatch-It method, but just that you're buying in bulk. I have had some success with this method. I have gotten some gold from this, so I thought I'd share it with you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you found it informative and helpful. If you did, go ahead and leave a like on the video. Plenty of other Guild Wars 2 gold guides on the channel if you want to check those out. Links to the playlist is in the description, as well as a card on screen there should be, where you can take a look at all the gold guides we have. Lots of helpful content on the channel. And if you want to subscribe to the channel to keep yourself updated with all the new Guild Wars 2 videos, we have guides, gold guides, game updates, game discussions. We talk about the new updates. We have other guides about the game, such as current events and whatnot. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to donate $1 to my Patreon page, click the card on the top right-hand corner of the screen. It'll bring you to the page. And I also have a vlogging channel, tutorials channel, music channel, and device channel. If you want to check those out, links in the description as well as on the end card. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching as always, and this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.